There we go. We're rolling. Episode 440, No Laugh Track podcast here at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis. I'm Justin Severson, who gets to host this each and every week. I get excited every week. It's the highlight of my life, my sad life. No, it is a highlight of my life. And it's even better when it's someone I've never talked to before.
Hi,
Nimesh Patel is with me.
I am.
We met 5 minutes ago.
Nice to meet you again.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Minneapolis.
Thank you. Yes, it's a fun place, I think.
You think?
I haven't been anywhere.
Yeah, so we were just briefly, you were asking me how far the river is from here before we started, and it's very close. The MISSI
That's how you have to say it every time.
Yeah. It's very close. You should definitely go over there and take a look. So last night was your first show at Acme.
Yes.
Before yesterday, had you been to Minnesota before?
I've never been to Minnesota.
No.
I didn't even, it's not a real place to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a place you hear about, but and you're like, oh, the Vikings play, but I didn't even conceptualize it as a place. You know what I mean? And I've been to so many cities on this tour.
Yeah.
And every city is starting to blend together. You know, like on the way here, I'm like, are we in Indianapolis? Because like the city feels the same. I know it's a weird thing to say given Colts and Vikings relationship, but it's just like it's the same goddamn city.
Yeah. Also, people call Minneapolis Mindianapolis sometimes.
Really?
Because they get it confused with Indianapolis. Mindianapolis. Brandon, you've heard that, yes? You've never heard that? Oh, yeah, I've heard that. Mindianapolis. Yeah.
You heard that in your head 2 minutes ago?
I'm from here. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Well, what did you know about? So you knew about the Vikings before you got here? You're a sports fan?
I know a little bit, but I can't say I'm a hardcore fan of anything.
Okay.
I watch basketball, but that's about it.
All
like
right.
Football, I don't commit a lot of time to watching anything. Like if it's on, I'll watch it.
Fair enough. So
So
what'd you know about Minnesota?
Nothing.
I
I know it's cold, and yesterday I heard the term Minnesota nice, which is, I guess, just French. It's like people like passive-aggressive, but really nice.
Yeah.
Which is just French to me.
Interesting.
But
I've never heard that before.
Minnesota nice?
No, Minnesota nice, my God. Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm just going off of there was a French guy in the crowd last night, and he seemed passive-aggressive. So I was like, oh, it's the same fucking
Okay.
it's the same thing. But again, like, I've never been to France and never been to Minnesota, so they have that in common as well.
How about French Canada?
Is this it?
No, but have you been there?
I've been to Montreal.
Okay,
Yes. So yeah, very similar, I would imagine.
See, like I've never been north of the United States border, so Canada to me is
Really?
a place that doesn't exist.
Is It's right there, ain't it?
Never been.
That's why. There's no real reason to go, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, people go there to fish. We have fishing. I guess pot's legal there now. We don't have that here technically, although it's not exactly impossible to find.
Right.
So, I don't know. We have a hockey team. They have hockey teams.
You're not missing anything. I've been to a lot of parts of Canada. This is America, but nicer.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I have, I don't know if you heard of this about me, but I do a lot of research for the podcast.
That's what I've been told.
Okay, and it's I'm holding true to that.
Okay.
And one of the things that I heard that you do is you Google News for a city that you're heading to. Now, did you do that?
I did not do that here.
What? We have news.
I know it all seems pretty bad, so I didn't want to. I don't want to be depressed when I came.
You got to put that Nimesh twist on it.
The last I heard, cops were in some trouble.
Yep. Fair enough.
But that's about it. That's all. I mean, what is there anything popping off?
No, I was just wondering what would have caught your eye.
No, I mean it's always when you Google news, you have to dive to like page 7 to find anything interesting, because the top news stories are usually what's ever happening on a national level anyway.
True.
And that stuff is not boring. It's just like everyone's already kind of talked about it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then it'll be a weird intersection of local news. Oh, did you hear about this? I think yesterday I did Google a little bit, and I was like, oh, 2 people were killed in like an intersection in an accident. I was like, all right, well,
local news. Yep.
Yeah, no one's gonna give a shit about that.
Yeah.
So, don't go to that intersection.
Oh my God, what if you did bring that up and just by coincidence, like that person's like,
yeah, I mean, but
that'd be some bad odds.
What I neglected to do and what I should have done, and this is what I do. I also do this.
Yes.
Is research like any main industry or big companies that are located. And yesterday, there was a huge Target presence
Oh,
And
yeah,
the
they're
crowd-
huge here in Minnesota, downtown here.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
had no idea. But that's also because I'm just in my own head about the set I'm working on, because it's my first time back on stage in like 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
Which is like an eon for me. So I was just like, I got to make sure the set is right. And I felt rusty last night, and I'm okay. Like, I'll be fine by the end of the weekend. But the last night, I was too in my head about make sure the set was fine, as opposed to figuring out who I can make fun of and all that kind of shit. What ended up being the French guy, some people from Target, some advertising people, and a Native American or two, and that was enough for me to play around with the crowd. But
Nice.
normally when I go to a place, I'll figure out what's going on, who the people are, what the main drivers of the city are, and usually that comes from me just talking to Uber drivers as well.
Sure.
Like, hey, what's going on in the news? And people are like, hey, nothing. Minnesota's boring. I'm like, oh, okay.
Do you tell Uber drivers what you're in town doing?
If they ask, for the most part, I'm just like, nah, I'm just here for work, and they usually don't probe.
They usually don't follow up.
And I'm like, okay, good. I don't want to. Oh, I'm a comedian. Oh, really? I did comedy 3 times. Like, okay, cool, man. You know.
Or they have a joke for you.
Yeah, I mean,
You can use this one.
My opener Mookie and I, we've definitely had a few times where the Uber drivers laid a joke on us, and only once, I think it might have been in Florida, in Jacksonville, where the driver is actually funny, and he had like just canned material.
Sure.
No, it wasn't. It was St. Louis. And that driver's actually funny. He just had like dad jokes and shit, and we
Yeah.
were just going back and forth with like crappy dad jokes, and that was a good time.
You gave him a guest set?
What's that?
You gave him a guest set that
Yeah,
night?
yeah, oh, yeah. Imagine that would have been great.
You
5 minutes, our Uber driver Earl. What? Yeah, I never done comedy before, but these guys laughed in my car, in my Camry. I was like, yeah, it was a good time. But beyond that, no, I don't tell anyone anything. Like, even the hotel, what brings you to town? Work. Don't ask me questions.
Yeah.
You know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned your opener, and Brandon told me you brought 2 openers?
For 2 openers.
Who's that?
This young kid, Sahib Singh, out of Baltimore, super funny dude. And then my friend Mookie Thompson, who I've known for, I don't know, countless years.
Yeah.
From New York.
Okay.
And yeah, we've been on the road since Mookie and I started the tour together in April, and then I forget when Sahib joined us. It might have been, I think it was starting in September or something. I'm not sure. I forget where he joined the tour, but he's been with us for a while too.
Nice.
It's just like beyond giving people a shot or whatever. It's more just like I would lose my mind if I didn't have friends
Okay.
to like be around.
Because you've done it the other way?
Yeah, just like in the green room, just like, because then if you're in the green room with the comic from that city, it always feels like that comic is putting on a show of some kind or whatever it is. And I'm not trying to big myself up.
No,
I'm just saying,
no.
like, there's like a anxiety almost of like the city's comic like opening. Hey, let me show you around this. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that at all. We've had that once or twice. I'm just like, all right, I got to bring someone else too now.
Sure,
You know?
I could see that.
Yeah.
So what you just said you started this tour in April?
Yeah.
What was before that?
Nothing. I mean, so pandemic started March 2020, right? When effectively the country in New York City at least shut down. I put my hour out on YouTube then, right around then I think, and it did well. So I started doing a lot more stuff on YouTube, putting clips out, because I've had an archive of clips for forever.
Yeah.
Because my home club is the Cellar, and the Cellar has been taping stuff forever, and I just had like all this shit. And it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna just put all of it out because I'm not creating anything new. So let me just put all this shit out anyway.
Yeah.
And then, so for like, I don't know how long, 6-7 months, I was doing that, like live streaming, like like a podcast of some sorts, but not podcasting, just live streaming.
Yep.
Talking to fans, trying to build a fan base. And then I got a writing job with A Little Late with Lily Singh back in November of 2020.
Oh, okay.
And I was doing that for a few months until March of 2021. And then my wife recommended I utilize TikTok to put stand-up out. And I did a little bit, but I didn't really fully engage with it. And then the opener, Sahib Singh, who is huge on TikTok, who's like does a lot of characters on TikTok, not stand-up, but is like, he's a great stand-up, but he's made a name for himself as a character on
I
TikTok.
gotcha. Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah, man, you gotta really do it." I was like, "All right." It usually takes me 2 people to tell me to do something before I do it. And usually, first person is my wife, and then it's someone else who tells me. And she's always on my ass about that.
And then she calls you out for not taking her word for it alone.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean,
I'm married.
but in my defense and in her defense, like it wasn't popping off when I started it. But then once I really started utilizing the algorithm and really just putting shit out there, it was in March of 2021, and I started seeing some clips really take off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, this is fucking interesting. Like, these people, like, hundreds of thousands of people are views I'm getting. I don't know how many people are watching, but hundreds of thousands of views on some of these clips, 80 and 175,000, more than anything on YouTube was doing, like, consistently. And then I started noticing in the comments, people like, yo, you got to come to this city. Come to this city. Come to Minneapolis. Come to Austin, come to Houston, come to Florida, whatever.
Yeah.
And I hit my manager up. I was like, look, I'm noticing people are commenting, come to this city. Can we hit up these cities and try to do off nights? And I'd already, shout out to Comedy Hub in Houston, I'd already had a Houston date set up before TikTok kind of blew up. And I was like, okay, well, Houston will be a nice testing ground to see if I can't utilize TikTok as a way to drive people to come to the shows.
Yeah.
And sorry, this ain't funny, but it's just interesting to me. Like,
it's very interesting.
How I built this kind of shit out.
Absolutely, very interesting.
And so that was driving that already existed. So that before anything happened, so I had this like set date where I could see if people would come to the show and if I could get TikTok viewers to come to the show. From just saying, yes, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Get tickets here. And Houston started moving a lot of tickets. And I was like, Reg, my manager, was like, I think we might have some. Let's see if I'm going to be in Texas. Let's see if we can't add Dallas, right? We added Dallas. And Dallas sold out pretty quickly. And it was during Ramadan, nonetheless. So, like I know I have a huge audience in brown communities, but selling out Texas on Ramadan, I missed a huge amount. So that means there's a good amount of people that are still wanting to see me but just couldn't come.
Right.
So once Dallas started moving tickets, like, oh shit, let's add something else. And we added San Antonio. No, we added Austin. And that was again because of Comedy Hub that kind of already existed. And Austin started moving. So we just started seeing this kind of effect of like TikTok is driving ticket sales.
How about the age of people showing up?
TikTok is
no matter everybody, huh?
The best distributor of ADD on the planet. Like everyone's getting it.
Yeah.
And it's like that was the crazy shit about TikTok and driving tickets that way is that normally you would think, oh, brown guy going to see a lot of brown people show up. And I did have a lot of brown people show up, but I also had a lot of different people, like Latin people, white people of all age groups, like 20-year-old white people and 60-year-old white people, 20-year-old Indians, 60-year-old Indians. You know, like everybody was there. Black people, white people, Chinese. It was fascinating to see what was happening.
Yeah.
But it was all happening in real time, so I haven't even done I wish there was no real way to do a full demographic analysis because TikTok's analytics aren't that deep. But it was definitely not my expectation. It was a very mixed crowd, and every time I've been someplace, except for New Jersey, because I got in New York because I have a strong brown fan base in New Jersey and New York.
Yeah.
But outside of those cities, every mix of people and every age group too. That was the crazy part because it'd be like, oh, my mom found you on TikTok and she said, let's go to a show. Or my daughter found you on TikTok, let's go to a show. And it's just like, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
Because everyone's on TikTok.
Yeah.
And so that's why like April is a pinged in my head. April, May, like right around then. I don't know the exact dates, but it was right around then that shit started going crazy. And so since April, I've been on the road, and it's just been like adding dates as we go because, a lot of dates for weekends are booked by huge names.
Sure.
Ronnie Chang, for example,
Yep.
who was here. Just shout out to my boy Ronnie. But
yeah.
Weekends are usually booked by bigger names. So earlier on, we were just doing like Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Mondays, and just like random cities. And people would comment like, why the fuck are you zigzagging across the country like this? You need a better person to start running shit for you. I'm like, this is all coming to get, like, I was doing nothing in March.
Yeah.
March, my calendar was empty. April, May, my calendar, my calendar is fucking booked. You know.
As you're saying this, I'm looking up. So when you said everybody has TikTok,
Yeah.
I signed up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm stating it here, Brandon. I'm not going to be. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But and here's why. I signed up today because of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched a ton of your YouTube stuff, and one of them was the what did you call it? Throwaway half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a couple times in that, I think that's the one you said I'm here because of TikTok.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, why is he saying I'm here because of TikTok? He
Yep.
must have a ton of popular videos on TikTok.
Yep.
So I tried to look at him with just doing on an account. Like,
Yeah.
They won't let you do that, I don't think.
Not
So I
anymore.
signed up for an account, and then I started looking. Yeah, you have a ton of followers and views.
613,000, something like that. Yeah.
Impressive.
It's not. I mean, it's mind blowing to me. I'm sorry, Amy. I should have listened to you earlier. But like, it all happened at a time when I think I was a kind of early adopter to the TikTok movement. I don't want to say I wasn't super early at all, but I was earlier than a lot of other stand-ups who are on it now. And I've told every stand-up I try who asks me, I'm like, just put your shit on there. At the very least, it's a way to get your material seen by hundreds of people. You may not go, viral with a lot of stuff or whatever, but it's a good way to get your shit out there if you don't care about, your stuff being out there and worrying about generating new stuff. I never had that concern.
Yeah. You just led me to what I was going to ask you. By the way, I want to point out 613.9 thousand followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So when you are noticing that the numbers are getting bigger and they're finding you on TikTok, when you do the joke that maybe they saw, are you noticing like, oh, that's the one that got them?
No. So that's the thing is like, there's a kind of gift and a curse with TikTok in that.
Okay.
A lot of my clips are old material. I don't. So I'm working on a new hour. The one that started in April and is now like finishing up. I'm gonna tape on the 12th. But none of that stuff is gonna ever be seen on TikTok. All the stuff that's on TikTok. I've been doing comedy for 12 years.
Sure.
I probably have 6 years of clips. Some are good, some are bad, some are whatever. But I have a huge amount to choose from.
Gotcha.
And so in some shows, not now, but like in the middle of the tour, I was asking in the earlier talk, which clip drew you to this? Which clip?
You were? Okay.
And I was asking, and some people like, it was this one, it was the healthcare one, it was the Trump one, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then some people want to see the greatest hits, and for some time I was doing I had to figure out how to integrate the clips into not just the set, but into what I was doing on stage and make it still feel good for me.
Yeah.
Because I hate like once a joke's been done 3 times, I'd never want to do it again.
Sure.
Like, it's dead to me. Once I get it, I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore, And so that's the bad side, but on the upside is I've used that clip to draw you to the actual set.
Yep.
And now odds are, hopefully, and this is what I'm betting on, that you will like the full hour because you like the small clip. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And another curse of it is that a lot of clips that do well on stage on TikTok is just crowd work shit.
Yeah.
And so because the crowd work is definitely not in the set, I'm happy just letting it go. And I do it sometimes on purpose, but for the most part I'll do crowd work just because it happens. Like it'll pop up and someone will say something ridiculous and I'm like, oh, shit, I guess I got to address this.
Yep.
And like, I know that's going to go on TikTok and do well. But the curse of that is people think all I do is crowd work. And I'm just like, you think I've been doing comedy for 12 years because I've just done crowd work? You think I've been to the Oscars because I did crowd work? You think I wrote on SNL because of crowd work? It's like, but that's people's limited, exposure to comedy necessarily.
Right.
Or people's exposure to comedy thinking, oh, he's only putting up crowd work. He must only do crowd work. It's like, no. If you scroll down, there's full jokes that I've just gotten rid of, but people won't get past some shit like that. But that's fine by me. For me, it's like if I put something out there that's brought you out to a show, I know that you will be happy with what you see as in its totality.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. So I bums me out I didn't get to make it to the show last night. I really wanted to see the show
Well, there's
before.
5 more opportunities.
But I wanted to see the show before I talked to you.
Oh, I
but,
got you. I got you.
So I've been told you did almost an hour and a half last night.
Did I? I'm sorry.
No,
I kept the stat for a very long time.
No, but and that you did a lot of crowd. You turned it into crowd work towards the end.
So what I do is, and this is a little secret, is that I'll make sure I find someone to talk to in the crowd at some point. And it just happened to be the French guy who was sitting right there yesterday.
Yeah.
Because he was in such like the nexus of visibility, right between these 2 seats, right here.
Second row.
Yeah. Like the third row behind that fourth row where that like 2-seater is with the table in the middle. He was in that seat right there, and it was just like the perfect vortex of visibility. And so I just happened to be talking to him for most of the set, but that's just by design. Like I like to have an anchor on a set like this where I'm still like a little rusty. I need to have someone who I could go to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
And that was throughout, and people think that's just me doing crowd work, but that's just by design so that I have something to anchor to, you know. But towards the end, once the set is done, and last night in particular, I knew that I had forgotten some jokes.
Oh,
because
okay.
because I was rusty.
Yep.
I was like, let me go through the set again. Be like, okay, did I forget anything? Let me do this one. Let me do this one, and pretend I'm talking about this again, so I can make sure that this it flows for you.
Yep.
And then on a one show night, I will do a Q&A, or I'll take some notes from the audience. A, because I think it's a fun way to engage.
Yeah.
And B, because it's a great way to generate what's going to end up showing up on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
There's lots of reasons for it, and I think from what I can tell, people seem to enjoy it. I know some people left because I was on stage for I said an hour and a half. I thought it was like an hour 20, but whatever it was longer than I said I was going to be on stage. But I'll tend to do that if like I know I have to hit some stuff that I need to fucking make work.
Sure.
And then it's just like the crowd seemed very engaged, and they seemed like they wanted me to keep talking because I do 3 hours, and they start cheering and shit. I'm like, I'm not doing 3 hours.
Fuck, you don't encourage me.
Yeah. But yeah.
I saw one of your videos doing some crowd stuff, and it was, I'm going to get some of these details wrong, but I think the gist of it was like, roast my boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, that happens a lot, but I think in particular that one you might be talking about was in Orlando, where it was like some fans, and the girls that were with them, the two dudes were fans, and the girls were fans too, but these women were so beautiful. Like, they were so hot. And I was like, I never understood that compulsion to get roasted by someone I didn't know. And to me, it just feels like, fuck my wife, you know? I'm just like, like, well, that's the ultimate roast, right? Like, I'll fuck your wife in front of you if you want, but, you know, like,
you're gonna tape your eyes open.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. And then my friend Shaw was on stage, who would open for me in Orlando. Me and Mookie was there too, but Shaw had opened as well. And he was helping me hand out shots, and he just went full like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the shots.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, he just went full. He just went full like, man, fuck you. I was just like, bro, that's not roasting, but it was still funny. And I was like, my brain doesn't. I'm not an on command roaster, because to me, roasting is a very good art. Like, there's very few. Mookie is a monster roaster if he's able to write his jokes out.
Sure.
But that's like such a key art where. Most on the fly roasting tends to be a bit hacky.
Yeah, it's stuff that they're leaning on stuff they've done before.
Yeah,
no,
and
absolutely.
But I mean, with like a crowd member, like if I'm gonna do it, it will be hacky because I'll just say something goofy, and it'll take me an iteration or two to get to the perfect making fun of, and so I tend not to do it unless it's like on the cuff, on the fly. I'll roast you, but if someone's like, roast me, I'm like. What? That's no fun.
No.
That's what kind of bully wants to bully someone who wants to be bullied? You know what I mean? That's no fun in bullying.
Right.
I'm trying to have a good time.
Awkward.
Yeah. So I fucked that dude's wife. They were beautiful.
And you stole his phone.
Yeah. No, they were some beautiful ladies, but and those dudes end up being cool. Like, they were fun afterwards. They were fans. I just never understood that compulsion. And so on stage. I was like, what are you talking about, man? Like, well, I'm gonna do that. Just drink. But
Yeah. That's what you should. You're like, how big of a super fan are you?
yeah.
What can I do?
Let's
to
go.
really offend
You stay here, and we'll leave the mic on. And me and your wife will go into the bathroom and come back with messed up clothes.
Let's see if you have an imagination of what
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So I get the feeling. Well, so I listened to your album as well.
One of my favorite pieces of art.
Head Nimesh in Charge.
Head Nimesh in Charge. Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
Oh, thank you very
Very
much.
funny.
Thank you.
I listened to it on an app that still holds it. I don't know if you got taken off of Spotify, but I used Pandora to listen to it.
Oh, really? No, I'm on Spotify.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see everybody getting pulled off there in the last 48 hours?
No, what happened?
Comedians.
Why?
Oh, boy. Breaking news to you, Nimesh.
Yeah, what happened?
A lot of some comedians were complaining that they weren't getting their fair cut of their albums being streamed on Spotify. Spotify in exchange said, fine, we'll just pull your stuff.
Oh, shit.
So a ton of comedians.
Am I still on there?
I'm not sure.
Can I check right now?
Yes. I don't have a premium account anymore, so I'm not sure. I stopped paying
That'd
about a
be
month
so-
ago.
That'd be
But like,
hilarious.
Liz Mealy,
Yeah, of course.
hers has been pulled. Chad Daniels, our buddy Chad, his stuff has been pulled.
Oh, no, I'm still here. Woo!
There's Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, I don't know if I'm making any money on Spotify, and I probably am not. I have 373 monthly listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you, 373 people. So, to me, it's just the album was just one way for me to burn material and be like, I'm never doing most of this stuff again.
Explain track 2 to me.
Which one's that? My grandparents?
Yes.
That's a hold on one second. Let me look at this track listing. Even creating this track listing was a fun thing to do. Oh yeah, family first, Bandada. Oh, so Bandada, my grandparents, my grandma, and my grandpa, respectively. And
That's how you pronounce. That's how you say that.
Bandada, yeah.
Okay.
And I do the joke now in my current hour, but at the time, I wanted to make sure that my grandparents were on the album, that their voices were on the album, and so my grandma is saying, why don't you come see us, come hang out with us, basically, and my grandpa is reiterating one of the first jokes he ever said to me, or that I said to him that made him laugh, and I told it at their 50th anniversary party like a billion years ago.
Yeah.
That when I was a kid, my grandpa was about to whoop my ass, and he was towering over me. He said, in Gujarati, which translates to, I'll put your head between your ears. And I'm down there like, it's already there, bro. And he started laughing. And I just remember that very clearly, like him laughing and me running away. Like, why is he laughing? I just fucking ran. And I wanted to make sure that was on the album, because to me, like, that was, such a funny moment to me. I just remember him laughing, and him laughing and me avoiding ass whooping is basically like the MO to my life now. Just if you make someone laugh, you can get out of a situation.
Right.
And so I wanted to make sure that they were shouted out, and that was accomplished.
That's their first time being on someone's album, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I hope so.
And then...
That'd be weird if they showed up on a Cat Williams track. What?
Here's some folks.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
Thank you. So then towards the end of the album, there are, I don't remember how you described them, but there are like 3 sort of, I don't know, bonus tracks
There's
maybe?
There's 4 bonus tracks.
4.
There's Let Go and Let Luger. Because what's it called? My friend.
There's some music on there.
Yeah, some music on there. So let's see. To Amber and John with Love, A Joy Forever. Where is it? Let Go and Let Luger. I'm not sure if you listened to Kanye West's first album, College Dropout, but at the end of it, he has a track called Last Call.
Okay.
Where he does like basically a 12-minute interview with himself. And it's over like a jazz track.
Okay, yes.
And he's just basically explaining how he got to where he's at. And I thought that was such a cool thing to do. And that was one of my favorite albums. And so I wanted to pay homage to that, but also explain how I got into where I was in comedy.
I see.
At that point.
Yeah.
And a lot of that up until then was, me. I'd done SNL. I'd been at the Oscars. I was a producer on Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. I'd done some other cool shit, and this was my first album, and I wanted to just let people know that this is how I got into where I'm at. And so I explained, Bar Matchless, the friends who had helped me get to where I'm at. And it was called Let Go and Let Luger because my friend Kevin Barnett had passed away in January of 2019.
Yes.
This album was recorded in August of 2019, and so it was still very heavy on my mind.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that he got his due. And that was that track. And I don't even know how long that shit is. I think it might have been 22 minutes. I just got high in the studio booth and I was just like, let me just fucking, I had like bullet points I wanted to hit, but I was just rambling for a little while, but it was fun.
You can tell not that you're high, but that you're so laid back and that you're just like stream of consciousness.
It was.
Was the jazz actually playing in the background?
I had it in my headphones.
Did?
Yeah.
Love it.
It was my cousin Neeraj. I asked him. He produces beats. He's like a software engineer, but he produces beats and stuff. So I hit him up. I was like, yo, I need like 3 or 4 tracks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just to like talk over and shit.
Yeah.
And so he sent me a few of those. I'm like, oh, this one's dope. Let me do that because I wanted to make sure people understood that I was paying homage to Kanye shit because Kanye had like it wasn't jazz. It was it was like a hip hop beat that he was playing underneath, but it was a lot different than the College Dropout album in general.
Yeah.
And so that's the music underneath that. And then the last 3 tracks is Too Much to Say, and then what's the other 2?
There's
part 1, Too Much to Say. Part 2.
There's a parody song about
there's the
allergies.
There's Side Hustling and allergies.
Yeah.
Those are the hidden tracks on the bonus tracks.
You keeping up with that?
So the Too Much to Say's, all of them were just like, I wanted to. Once I was done with the album and that hour, I wanted to like put that shit away forever almost. And for me, that was just my own way of putting out everything I could. And those jokes that I did on those 3 tracks had no spots in the set that I'd created. And I wasn't going to go out and craft another set just for those jokes. They were just jokes I had, laying around, but it fell by the wayside, whatever, because they didn't fit into a set that I was doing. But I want to make sure that they were out there.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just talked to them. I just talked to those jokes. And then
I love it.
I forget how long ago it was before that album, but one day I was just talking to my cousin, and he was talking about having allergies, and he had an an allergy attack one like wedding we had been to, and for some reason in my head, it was right around the time Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd was a popular song.
Yep.
And I don't know how my brain got it, but my brain went from I'm allergic to I can't feel my face when I eat you, I'm allergic. And I was like, we're just going to write that song. And my friend Armin Siddiqui, I think that's pronounced his last name, Sadgiha, it's very Turkish. He's a server at the Cellar, but he's also like a hyper talented singer. And he sounds exactly like The Weeknd. And so I wrote the song. We wrote the song, and our friend Will, one of Armin's roommates, is an insane producer, and he's got the studio. So we're like, "Yo, Will, can you pull this fucking track from, some karaoke song,
right?
And tweak it up so we can sing over it, so Armin can sing over it." And then he just got in the booth and fucking sang, and it sounds exactly like The Weeknd. And it's one of my favorite things I've ever done. And
I'm glad I brought it up.
And I have a whole parody album of like but that song inspired like 11 other songs for me. Like, yo, you know what? We got 2-3 months. Let's just I'll just put this shit together. We'll just write 11 other songs, and me, you, and Will will just do all of it, and we'll put it out as a separate thing. But those 2 songs were, and then Side Hustling was, I think, a term in the zeitgeist. Everyone had a side hustle at that time.
Yeah.
And Rick Ross's Hustling song is one of my favorite songs from, I don't know, 2008, whatever the fuck it was. And I was like, oh, that's an easy song to parody. It's just, instead of hustling, it's Side Hustling. And I could rap. I could sound breathy and like I've been eating wings, you know.
Yeah.
And so I decided, I was like, let me write this song. And I rapped that, and it sounds okay. I think the lyrics are a lot better than what it sounds like. But that's just because it's me rapping.
He's a strong lyricist, bro.
Yeah, they are. These are well-written songs.
Yeah.
I'm not the best performer when it comes to rap, but I like the writing of it.
Yeah.
And that was just another fun thing. I was like, I'm just going to have fun because the fuck else are we doing this shit for?
Yeah, why not?
And so Side Hustling became... I think Side Hustling is the first parody song, and then Can't Feel My I'm Allergic is the second parody song, the second hidden track.
Yeah.
But that was just me having fun in the studio. We were just like, let's fucking make some shit.
So is there gonna be a whole album?
There
coming
is
out?
a whole album. It's called Platinum Patelities. It's on YouTube.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. It's I think Side Hustling is the first song. Can't Feel My Face is the second one. Then I love plants, so I wrote one called Bitch Don't Kill Your Plants. And that my friend Will and Armin, we wrote when I say we wrote all this shit together, but Will,
Regular Lennon and McCartney over here.
yeah, Will is a very talented, the producer is also a very talented rapper, and so we were writing a Kendrick verse about plants was an impossibility, but we did it, and it may not be the funniest song, but if you like plants, that's a song for you.
I know what I'm doing right after this.
Yeah, it's all on there. And then now we make me pull up the track, listen to that, because that shit was fun too.
Oh my
and
God.
I was trying to get what's it called? Parody clearance for a lot of this shit, but that's like a whole other legal endeavor you have to do.
Interesting. Yeah, I bet.
Hold
I
on.
bet.
Let me
While you're looking that up,
yeah.
let's see. What were the last thing I was going to talk to you about? Just because we're kind of hitting that point here.
Oh yeah, it starts with it starts with me trying to start a beef with Weird Al over the ether beat. Just talking shit.
Do I need to pick sides on that?
Yeah, you do. And
Shit.
It's clearly me. I talk shit to Weird Al for like a good minute and a half. Then Don't Kill Your Plants. Ain't No Ice Caps, which is a parody of Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers.
Oh, sure.
Because global warming is a real thing and all the polar bears are going to die. And then another one, You Know What's Going On, which is a parody of What's Going On, because privacy was a real big issue. So we wrote lyrics about how Mark Zuckerberg and Google were all spying on us.
Love it.
It's fucking, I Am So Woke. That's like a timeless song. Shout out to Mateo Lane. Do you know Mateo Lane?
Never met him, but I know who he is.
Mateo Lane, super talented comedian, and also he should quit comedy and just sing, because motherfucker is such an incredible singer.
Oh, really?
And so we wrote this song for him called I Am So Woke, which is a parody of Whitney Houston's How Will I Know. And it's a song about a person who is just really woke and just doesn't like jokes and has no friends.
Love it.
Yeah, but yeah, I could do this shit all day.
Hey, you earlier you mentioned about recording again in the future.
Yeah, so
what's the plan with that?
I actually don't want to talk about it
Oh.
only because I haven't announced it anywhere.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
But you have a plan.
Yes, I have a plan. December 12th.
Okay.
The hour that I've built over the last 8 months, since April, 7 months.
Yeah.
Because towards the end of April.
Well, that's coming up soon.
Yeah, December 12th.
Oh, wow.
I'll be done with that material, and it'll be a culmination of all the shit we've done, all the shit I've done since May 1st or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. It'll be my second hour that I put out, the first one that I'm producing at the level that we're producing it at. And yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be
Nice.
fun. Yeah,
Nice.
We
Looking
taped
forward.
in New York. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Okay. In New York. All
Yeah.
right. Finally, let's just say we're on TikTok. Your name on there is
At Finding Nimesh.
and that's where you are a lot. Is that your name? a
That's
lot of places?
my brand across all channels.
Perfect.
Yeah. Venmo.
I should start adding that to the beginning of all these. By the way, I guess Venmo is bip, 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 bip.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
This has been great. It was great to meet you.
Thank you.
If we were doing a longer episode, I know exactly what we were talking about, but I also want to take pride in the fact that we're not talking about your shit at Columbia.
Yes,
You've
thank
covered
you.
that in a lot of different places.
I have.
With Joe Rogan.
Yep. Once I did it with Joe, it feels like no one should ask me about that ever again. But that's all people want to talk about. So thank you for that.
Excellent. So if you for some reason you don't know that story and you've made it this far in this episode, go Google his name, Joe Rogan, if you'd like. That you can get the interview there, and it's an amazing story.
Thank you.
And I will tell you that is a story I read on this podcast, because a lot of times I'll just do stand-up comedy news stories.
Yeah.
And when you got in some heat at Columbia,
Yeah.
I read that story, I think, like a few days later.
Oh, wow,
not
okay.
knowing who you were. Like it was just a name.
Here I am.
It was just the trending name, and now here you are.
In the flesh. Yeah.
So very cool.
They tried to kill me, but I survived.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this again sometime. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you very much. Check out Platinum Parodies, please.
Check it out.
It's got like 2,000 views. It needs more because, God damn it, it's beautiful. Thank
I
you,
will.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you.